Hey, 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 welcome, welcome, welcome back.
Hey y'all.
I feel like it's been a long time, but it's been what, like 2 weeks?
It's
2 weeks?
been 2 weeks, but I mean, the thing about it is 2 weeks and things have been doing and going great for us or whatever. So that's why life has been, we've been on a little delay, but we here. We
Yes,
rolling with the lives like y'all like them.
yes.
So
And y'all are stuck with my face this week. Um,
what a beautiful scene to look at.
uh, she is unavailable to be on video, but we are still showing up here. And this week we are talking about the chakras.
Yeah,
And
my
like,
wheelhouse.
yes, this is definitely your wheelhouse here. But I definitely wanted to, like, I think it's important to talk about just to have like an awareness, right? I think, like, what would you say is the importance of being aware, even for a person that, like, they don't need to become an expert on all things chakras, but like, why would you tell someone it's important to like know a little bit about this?
Because anything dealing with your chakras align with your health. So if you have poor health and or anything, it's all going together as one. That's why I would tell anybody learn up on it. You don't have to be a pro, but if you learn how to align your chakras, I bet you your heart, not your heart, sorry, your health will get better all together. Honestly, it did for me, and it unblocked a lot of things, a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Definitely, especially when it comes to like when they're blocked and knowing how it shows up for us, like how we can signs that we can tell that like a chakra may be blocked and like what we can do to unblock it. Like what, tips and tricks and how it impacts us, like how we show up in the world and our relationships and things like that. So what we start? We starting from the bottom of the top.
Um, we can start from the top. So, of course,
Mhm.
the top is your crown, your hair, or whatever. So, like I tell a lot of people, growing up, especially in the Black community, you're always told not to let anybody, just any everybody play in your head or whatever. And that's because your crown is open and it's acceptable at everything. So when people play in your head or whatever, they're transferring energy to you. So the number one way that me personally, I have learned to clear the crown chakra is I actually wash my hair in rainwater. And with the rainwater, I actually let it sit out under a full moon before using it.
Mm.
And it unblocks that. The ways that you notice that you're blocked is like your scatterbrain.
Mhm.
And yeah, I be scatterbrained a lot. Um, the next would be your third eye. And most people, yeah, I get to see me now. I'm not moving.
Okay.
Well, most people who have been in church, if you ever went to church and they anoint you right here,
Mhm.
that is your third eye. Most of the people in church don't even know that that's what they're anointing. Most people use hyssop oil. Um, in the spiritual world, they use hyssop oil, whatever, to anoint right there, or the holy oil that they pray over in church. Um, when you're right, your third eye is blocked. Like I don't want to say you have blinders on, so you don't see the BS that really be going on. You're literally blind to everything. Now, please understand with any type of chakra, you can have an overactive chakra.
Yeah.
So you seeing, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but the way to open your third eye is literally just you can do. To me, the number one thing to open up most of any of your chakras is grounding yourself, staying grounded. And the way you ground yourself is me personally. I walk outside barefoot. I stand in the grass. People laugh at me. I'm a tree hugger. Another way to ground yourself if you don't want to go outside the home is lay on the floor in your house.
Mhm.
And I didn't
Now,
know.
hold on, for grounding, because this is great. I think, like you said, that is really good for all the chakras. But
Mhm.
let's, for the people that may not be so aware, what is grounding? Like, what does that mean?
Bringing yourself back, bringing you back to yourself, calming yourself. And another word is calming.
Yeah,
You learning relaxation tips and how to calm yourself.
yeah.
And
Centering and getting back into your body, into the present,
Mhm.
um, is really what, yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
And one thing I know with the third chakra too, I think it's like you said, it's very important to know, like, you can have an over and an under, or an
Mhm.
under. But like when my third eye was blocked, it was like a lot of headaches, a lack of like my creative energy seemed to be kind of like blocked too. Like it was just really hard for me to like visualize things in general. Like, you know how, meditations are like, oh, visualize this. And it was like, I literally like have the most
Mhm.
difficulty trying to visualize things. So mine was definitely underactive. But like you said, there's people that have over, and for them, that means they see in all the things. Like, and a lot of times, and this is why, like, it's so important to be aware because a lot of times in society, we deem people that, I mean, of course, some people do need help, but
Mhm.
a lot of times there's people that end up being deemed as like mental health, like, um, they're diagnosed with certain things, and it's really like they're closer to spirit than a lot of us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and that's just because they're seeing all the things, or they're hearing the things, and a lot of times it's just they're not aware and understanding of, within themselves, which they can't differentiate between what they're hearing and the things that they're seeing, and then
Mhm.
of being diagnosed with certain things. And it's really unfortunate. But um, that made me think too how you were saying, like, you're just kind of blind to certain things, like, that I was, it affected me in relationships because your girl was blind to a whole lot of red flags. For real though, like I was third chakra, third eye. It was just, yeah, it
It's
was,
a lot.
yeah.
It's a lot. And it's a lot that you're blocked off from. Like the next one would be your throat chakra.
Mm,
The throat chakra is blocked when people pleasing,
yep,
can't speak up for yourself.
yep.
Um, and baby, when you activate your throat chakra and open it up,
Mm-hmm.
people gonna hate you. Real talk. Um, what happened to me was I used to people please. I let people rock over me. And baby, listen, mm-mm, it's open now, and I don't know how. Sometimes I am over it. My throat chakra is overactive. Cause girl, sometimes you don't gotta say this stuff,
Yeah.
but I do anyways. Okay.
You can
For
find
your throat.
yourself like it's like little signs too. Like you can find yourself getting sick all the time and having like just a lot of throat issues.
Yep.
Or even I wrote down too, like, because I remember for me before when my throat chakra was more blocked, it was like I don't like the sound of my voice, or I don't like making comments like that. That's a sign that it's probably blocked in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely the boundaries thing. Like I was not communicating boundaries. I was definitely a people pleaser and was afraid to rock the boat. And that was all signs of my chakra being blocked.
But it's good that you realize that.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
with
and
your,
people, did you have when yours was blocked? Did you kind of clench your teeth a lot?
I used to grind my teeth real bad.
Like people don't realize
And
that's the sign too.
yep. And when your throat chakra is also blocked, it causes increased anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Your anxiety is always like at another level. Just like the next one is your heart chakra. And your
Oh,
heart chakra.
hold on. Before we move on to the heart,
Mm-hmm.
one thing I was thinking too with the throat, like it is possible that you can have where you might be very expressive in your relationship with your partner, let's say expressing boundaries and how you're feeling, et cetera, with your partner, but may not be able to do that at all with, like, let's say your parent or another family member or something. So it's very possible for a blocked chakra to affect you in specific aspects of your life, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
just, oh, all the way around, I don't speak up for myself. Like you may be able to speak up with family, but then at work, you're like getting run over. And you know what I mean? Like you just have no sense of boundaries when it comes to work. So that's important to know too.
Always. Boundaries, period. But your boundaries do play a lot into the chakras.
Pretty much all
And
of them.
yep. And what you lack thereof, honestly. Um, the next one was the heart chakra. So your heart chakra is just that, it's your heart. Um, a lot of people heart chakra is blocked because of their lack of I don't want to say like intimacy, but they're looking for something that they never had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard for
And
them to like receive or give love, and it's basically.
right. And that plays with the what health issue is that? That's your thyroid in your heart. Duh. um,
Yeah.
and you could be clogged really bad. And I had a friend, hers was blocked really, really bad, but she wound up having a heart attack. But
Mm-hmm.
it not only and like hey, all of them playing head and head. I mean, all aligned together because her throat chakra was blocked because she never wanted to speak up for herself, which caused her heartache and pain, which caused the heart attack because
Mm-hmm.
it was a blocked chakra. Um,
Blood pressure issues too, because
mhm.
that, you know, if your heart chakra is blocked, I know that can be like resentment and even, you know, leading to anger, and that suppressed leads to blood pressure, either low or high, blood pressure issues, and um, yeah,
But
like
like,
heart and the lungs, that affects the breath, all of it.
mhm, that it. Mm. So my favorite one though is my favorite chakras. Um, are the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. So solar plexus is like right under your breastbone, but not quite frankly your stomach. So
Yeah,
it's like in the middle.
your belly button, right?
Yeah. So it's right there. Your solar plexus is your gut health.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, mm, I tell anybody when you have bad gut health, everybody's like, oh, it's just because of what you eat. Yeah, it could be what you eat, but that too plays along with your heart, your throat, hell, your third eye. You're seeing stuff or you're being blind to it, so then it's hurting you and you're causing intestinal issues,
Yeah.
bowel movement problems, things of that sort. For me too, I said grounding to open up all your chakras. I am going to read off affirmations at the end that I also look at because you have affirmations for each chakra
Yeah.
and it all makes sense. So, but the sacral chakra, I love because I had to open my sacral chakra. I was molested growing up. My sacral chakra was blocked, which caused the hormonal issues. When I say hormonal, I mean I wasn't having a cycle. I could have a cycle like once every 4 years. When the young lady, Miss Aisha, did Reiki on me, it got so hot in the room, like she had to come out her coat when she did my sacral chakra. And I wound up having my cycle. That's as soon as I left our office, after doing the Reiki. But a number one thing is move your body with your sacral chakra. That's how you can open it. Dancing, um, honoring your body. The womb. The womb is a beautiful thing, but the womb is an open portal. And that's why when you're having sex or anything with multiple different people or anything of that sort, you're opening up for them to just come into you. You're taking on their spirit. So then guess what you're doing? You're darkening and blackening your sacral chakra. And then the root chakra. Everybody thinks that the crown.
Hold on, because you messing me up, and I got stuff.
Go ahead.
Going back to the solar plexus, though, that one is the one right above, like, your belly button, and that one too. Like, I wrote down the importance of breath, because with that, I know the sacral connects to, like, control and self-esteem and our sense of, like, power, right? And I was thinking, most people don't even know how to actually breathe correctly. Like, people don't breathe into their diaphragm. They think, oh, I breathe into my chest. But no. Like how babies breathe, that diaphragmatic breathing, where when you breathe in, your belly is actually going all the way out.
It pushes out to the full capacity. And that's how you know you're taking in the right breaths. But a lot of people just breathe like
shallow. Yeah, absolutely. And if you can learn the art of breathing, I'm telling you, I think once I felt like I got to the point of, like, mastering, like, breath work, I mean, that just really shifted everything for me. Because, I mean, it helps you to control your emotions. It helps you to ground. It helps you to be more present and just connect, because a lot of us get disconnected from our sense of self, our bodies, because we're so on the go and we're always doing, and we don't think about how we're feeling and, whatever. And that's why our body leads up to the dis-ease, because we don't slow down enough to actually, oh, how am I feeling? People are like, oh, how are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm fine. I'm good. And your body is screaming at you, right? But we just be so like, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep doing, I gotta keep grinding and hustling. And so, yeah, I think, like, indecisiveness is a really big sign for the solar plexus, to know that it's, like, blocked. And then you said with the sacral, which is the lower belly, like between your belly and your
pelvic.
Under your belly button.
Under your belly button, your sacral chakra. So where your womb and your ovaries and everything.
I think that was my biggest blockage, and it's still, I'm still working on it, still working through it, because that was years of it. I feel like most of my life it was blocked, and for me that led to, which we've already talked about, like the hypersexual activity and stuff like that. I definitely felt disconnected from, like, pleasure and joy, and I think that's a big sign of it being blocked too.
It is a big sign of it being blocked. It's a big sign of you or people in general not honoring their body. Your sacral chakra is all about honoring your body, making the full, as everybody say, my body is a temple. That's it.
Yeah.
So I understand.
Yeah. Okay, and you were going on to the root.
The root chakra is the one of all. The end all be all. Because when your root chakra is off, everything is out of line. I lie to you not. And you are right. With the root chakra, this is how, again, I said grounding.
Where's it at? Where's the root?
The root is your feet. It's at the bottom. So but
it's like the bottom of your spine, right? But it controls the lower body. Is that right?
Right. But when we actually work on people, we do your feet. With Reiki, we touch your feet. So when I ground myself, I literally go outside barefoot, as I said. And I did it the other weekend when we were at the ocean And Yamaja is said different ways, however dialect you want to say it. We were at their feast, and I was barefoot. And when I tell you, the day after, my feet was still cold,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody was like, "Because you finally got brought back to yourself. You are now fully back rooted." Like I had shoes, I did not have on shoes that whole time,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt like I could feel it. Like when I was just standing on the ground, you could feel the coldness tingling up my whole body and then coming back down. But my feet could not get warm till 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that
Oh,
aligns all the
work
chakras.
though. I love it. I love to hear stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
people don't realize it. I think people get so withdrawn when they hear about like certain things like Reiki or plant medicine or things like that. You know what I mean? Because they just think it's like it's hoodoo and it's like the devil or whatever. But it's like, no, this is all about connecting you to yourself. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're more connected to yourself, you're more connected to God. You know what I mean? We are made in the image. So how
Why
is
not call us by his
how is
name?
that wrong? You know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
balancing the energy. Like energy don't lie. If you just, if I just got the pen here and that's gravity, that's energy moving.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's I don't know why it's so far fetched for people. I mean, I understand why because I grew up in religion and I understand the the matrix in the box, but it's like wow, once that veil is lifted, it just becomes you see the possibilities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like how they have those little blinders on horses. It's like somebody listened and you're like, holy shit. Like I did not know that all this was out here. Like that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So but I know we never really got into it because I talked about my journey with ayahuasca and stuff, but what you were talking about with the Reiki, it made me think about it. Like my journey with the ayahuasca and and then also my previous like Reiki sessions and energy healing sessions that I've had. Like, is that something? Are you able to teach Reiki?
I'm not. No, not right now because I'm not getting my master until the end of the year. I know some people who still teach it, even though they don't have their master Reiki. But
Mm-hmm.
me personally, I wouldn't until I got it.
Because that's something I've for years I wanted to get into, and I've been told that I have like natural Reiki hands. And I remember in a session that I had, and I was like seeing like a past or current life, if you will. Um, it was like I was like a shaman, and like I was like doing energy healing on someone, and I just remember like I couldn't hear sound. I could just see myself kneeling on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
and I had some little brown bowls with some like medicine in it. And I was doing something with my hands. It was like a white powder. And I was doing something with my hands. And the person that was laying on the ground, we were in this tent. The person that was laying on the ground had like a cane on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you could just see me working. And I was doing stuff. And it was like I was pulling stuff out of them. Don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just doing what I'm doing. And next thing you know, like a few minutes later, it's like the person uh, got up. They got up. They stood up without their cane. They took a bag of coins out and handed me the bag of coins, and they left the tent. And when they left the tent, um, I like put the coins down, and I did something where I like blew because I was like, clearing the energy out, and
Right.
it opened so you could see like it was some type of community because it was like a bunch of other tents I could see, and like it was the craziest because I was just like, that is wild. I used to remember always having dreams like that, like as a kid. Like I always imagine myself as some either a samurai type of person or somebody like healing people.
It was telling you ahead of
But
time.
I want to tap into that. I love that because, like, I do recall when I was in that session, like, she was pulling stuff. She was mainly working on my sacral, right? That's the sexual.
Sexual organs.
Yeah, like she was working on that, and she was pulling stuff. Like the vibration that I felt alone was just, it was like, I just can't even express it into words. Like I was just feeling all the things. And then the crazy part was my hands were tingling too. It was almost as if I was doing the work, but my hands were sitting like they were just laying there.
Y'all
So
were connected.
I don't know, girl, I was feeling everything though. It was wild. It was wild. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much how my journey went. There was some visual stuff, but it was primarily feeling. It was like, girl, you done suppressed stuff for so long, you gonna feel all this,
You
all.
about to feel all of this. Take it now.
But there was a part. There's still some blockages because there was a part she ended up having to just break down and cry, and she was just like, Spirit was like, you have to cry because she's not gonna do it. I was just like, dang, that's crazy. But I know because I've stopped myself from crying a lot of times. Like,
That's how I was at the feast the other weekend, but I could not no longer hold it. Like, for one, they weren't gonna let me hold it. Like,
yeah, see, I guess I hadn't got to that because
yeah,
it was like,
no,
you
they
gotta
were
cry for
literally
her. And I'm
they
over
were
here like,
literally there like, I know you're not holding your breath in. Like, I know you're not holding it. Breathe, breathe. And as soon as I would breathe, it was just like the loudest roar came out, like scream. So I get it though, but
yeah, I guess I need book a session, sis.
yeah, it be, ooh, honey.
Yeah, but that's, yeah, I know. But yeah, the root chakra, since it connects everything, is very important because that affects, I mean, it, literally everything. If it's blocked,
Everything.
the increased anxiety, you have the you're not, when it comes to you being grounded, like having, excuse me, like a sense of security with things, like it affects your money, it affects your you being in like scarcity mindset and like
Yeah.
survival mode essentially. That's what that shows, like if it is blocked. So but it affects literally everything. So like I know for that it's like lower back and like pelvic exercises really help um,
Mm-hmm.
to really.
Yoga poses. It's different. Excuse me. Definitely multiple different yoga poses that you can do when it comes to your chakras. Um. Uh, let's see. I will actually send a link. Well, when we post the video, we could try to like post the link or whatever to the yoga poses that align with your chakras.
Okay.
But you were able to, if you're unable to do like the full yoga poses, I tell everybody, girl, do the simplified version, honestly. But either way it goes,
Mm-hmm.
you're still doing something, a whole lot of something. Like the downward dog is your solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
A goddess pose. What would you think that one is? Just random. What would you think the goddess pose? Which chakra would you think?
Crown.
Which one?
Crown or root?
No, your sacral.
Oh.
Because your body, your everything really is the
Oh.
sacral chakra.
Okay.
Um, they have one that is called the warrior pose. That's
Mm-hmm.
your root chakra. Um, what else? Let me see. The standing back being, you know how you stand up and you stretch, but you lean backwards.
Mm-hmm.
That's your heart because you're opening up yourself fully.
Yeah.
Um,
That
the
makes.
throat chakra is just, sitting down crisscross applesauce or what they call the lion pose. Or I always laugh, but I've never done this one, but it's your crown chakra is when you like stand up and like stand on your head. But for people who can't do that, your crown chakra is definitely like the lotus pose. You know, when you sit crisscross applesauce with your hands like this.
Mm.
That is excuse me, that is actually gonna be your crown, and then your
Like a meditation pose.
meditation, and then your third eye is just like bending over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that works.
Even if you like I said, because like 90% of the poses that she just mentioned, I don't know. So if you're like me and you don't know what all those poses are, like she said, I would say just move your body, because essentially these block chakras are, it's the energy and the residual effects of trauma. It's the residual effects of unprocessed emotions. It's the residual effect of unhealed wounds that we have, invisible wounds. And it's energy that's stuck. So the best way you can clear something out is to get it moving. So, throat, if around the like shoulders area, stretching your neck, things like that. Sometimes I even massage like my third eye or my like crown chakra. I'll tap, tap, tap. There's like studies on that, which is, EFT,
Right.
if you've ever heard of that, like tapping. It's done on parts of our body, and that will actually like help to activate. But like just doing stretches, being intentional with that. And you can think of simple things. Like if you're thinking, yeah, I'm not feeling I'm not speaking up enough for myself. And I'm not honoring myself in that way. Like, what's ways that you can do that? Journaling helps. You starting even with just little small things, like starting to practice saying no to people, even when just speaking.
Deep inside, you want to say, yeah.
I know somebody's always had like some type of friend that just takes up so much space that they end up getting on a call with them, and next thing you know, like they're just like, I didn't get a word in. That could be you
Right.
just, saying, hey, I would love to talk about my day, or just like something like that. Like just trying to find little ways. And of course, it's only a Google search or a Chat GPT question away from how can I, you can ask it like, what are some signs of a blocked whatever chakra, or what do these signs mean is blocked or something? And then how can I unblock it? Like that's easy. You can find that online anywhere. So you don't have to know the specific meanings and all that stuff, but this is just to bring awareness to it.
Just the awakening of it, because a lot of people don't know anything about chakras.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And what's crazy to me is I literally sat in church services where I've seen them touch people's sacral chakras and their the root. I have literally watched the crown. I've watched them do it, but nobody really knows what it is. So when you call it something else, a lot of people just automatically go to, oh, it's witchcraft. Like, bro, they're doing it in church. Y'all just don't know the name of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully, I know this wasn't the most in-depth or, longer episode, but hopefully something, I'm not gonna say hopefully, because whatever stuck out to you, whatever you heard today is exactly what you were supposed to hear. So whichever one stuck out to you, if you do have any specific questions, I'm not the person to go to. It's your hood rat light worker over there.
I think one day if y'all follow me on TikTok, I will be posting more content on Reiki.
Yeah.
And how you can do self Reiki when you're unable to get to a Reiki practitioner, or if you just want to learn how to do it on yourself. I will be posting all of that very soon on TikTok. And my TikTok is definitely the Hood Rat Light Worker, as I am everywhere.
Link is there.
Yeah, just catch me over there. It's not as depth. I love talking about your chakras, but I'm more of a person who have to be face to face, and I can show you like, oh, this crystal is that, and this and that, and I like to show people fully. So y'all, I am sorry, but life is busy, and then it's not gonna get no better because I'm gonna get a second job. So we moving and grooving, doing what you have to do, but still showing up. Because it could have been easy as either me saying no, not today, because I'm super busy, or our favorite shadow work coach saying, girl, I'm tired. I just got acclimated to a new shift and us not showing up. But we showing up we're still being here for you all. We're making it do what it do while still bringing awareness to our community, and your family on triggering topics.
Yes, yes, yes. So we definitely want to thank you. If you've been rocking with us, or even if this is your first episode, like we are really grateful. We just want to keep raising the consciousness level of our people. So bringing them closer to home.
Every time.
And we look forward to the next time. And until then, stay triggered, y'all.
And stay triggered.